Let's examine the administrator report provided by Get More Math. I am going to explain the metrics seen in the district level report. These are the same metrics that you will see at the school level. I want to call your attention to the right side of the screen when you log in. Here we have various filters that you can use to drill down to specific information you are looking for. If you are unable to see those filters, you may need to expand that window by clicking on the gray arrow. You can filter down by school, teacher, and class name, but I want to call your attention to the last two filters. We are trying to report overall information to you throughout the entire school year. But if you just want a snapshot of how your students and teachers are doing now, open up Class Status and select Active. Then go to Student Status and select Currently Enrolled. Now your metrics will reflect active classes and currently enrolled students. Let's go ahead and collapse that window so that we can view the entire screen. There's a lot of information that we report, so one tip to keep in mind is in the corner of any of the reports is a little circled eye. That'll give you definitions of the metrics you can see in that report. Beside this icon is the expand arrows. When you select that, you will get a bigger view of that report, plus various filters that you can toggle on or off depending on which metrics you'd like to see. In the upper right corner, you can choose Apply to save these changes, or you can choose Cancel to go back to the original report. The three dots beside the expand arrows will allow you to download this report to either a PDF or a spreadsheet. Now let's navigate back to the top of the report. You will see here overall metrics for this district. You can see the number of schools that have used it this year and in the last 30 days, along with a weekly active school trend graph. We also report this information in terms of teachers, in terms of students, and in terms of problems. If we continue going down the report, we now will give a detailed report broken down by school. The same metrics above are now reported according to the specific school you are looking at. Also reported in this table is points earned $sign. This would be the number of $sign problems students have answered correctly on the first try. In comparison, points this year is going to report the number of first attempts students have made at any problem, regardless of the $sign. Remember, problems with $signs is a way that Get More Math individualizes for students based on their history. The $sign is placed on skills that we feel students need to practice, or maybe it's skills they haven't seen for some time to build their long-term retention. Teachers may want students to work on skills that don't have $signs. That is why we report both metrics. But remember, students will only earn a point if they answer a $sign question correctly on the first try. So to see where these top level metrics are coming from, I'm going to scroll down to the bottom of the report and work my way back up to the top. The bottom report is entitled Teacher-Student Detailed Health Report. This is where you will see a list of each school, the teacher in that school, broken down by class, and then within each class, you're going to get a list of all of the students that belong to that class. I'm going to focus on the first student listed here and go through each metric with you. Problems year to date, like above, is going to list the number of attempts a student has made on problems this year. Points earned $sign is going to report the number of problems answered correctly on the first try that have a $sign on them. Please note these are points that are earned for all time, not just this school year. So if a teacher uses a class from year to year and the students remain in that class, those points will carry over. That is why we highly recommend teachers archive their class at the end of every school year. This metric can be seen by both the teacher and the student. On the teacher application, if the teacher selects the class and student data, They can look at a specific student and see the number of dollar problems that have been answered correctly under points earned. On the student screen, if students navigate to their menu bars, they will then have the option to select Statistics. Here they can view the points they have earned that match the teacher application, that match the administrator report. Now let's look at accuracy. This is going to report the percentage of time students answer a question correctly on their first attempt. This metric can easily be seen again from the teacher application under student data. Here it is reported for all time, which is what we report to the administrator as well. We do use a color system to notify you of that metric. Green meaning it's a great metric, yellow meaning that it's good but needs work, and red meaning that it really needs to be addressed. This color rating is seen for all metrics. The next metric is active skills green or better. This metric is going to report the percentage of skills that students have that have achieved a color rating of green, silver, or gold. Just to remind you, all skills start as red. As students answer a red skill correctly, it will move to yellow, and that can happen in one day. But for skills to truly move to a green, silver, or gold color rating takes time and accuracy. This is really an indication that the student's long-term retention is building. So if we take a look at our first student, they have an 11% for active skills green or better. If we go to the right, we can see this student has one skill that is gold, no skills that are silver, one skill green, 7 yellow, and 9 red. The student color levels depict the achievement for the last time this individual student worked in mixed review. Therefore, it is a snapshot and it will often represent varying days for the students in the class. Making a ratio of the skills that are green or better will result in 2 out of 18 for this student, which is equivalent to the 11%. This may inform both you and the teacher that this student needs to spend more time working on those skills so they can move through the color ratings. Time spent in mixed review is going to report the percentage of points that have been earned by that student in the mixed review environment. Remember, more time spent in mixed review, the better. The teacher is able to see this data from their screen again under student data. The last metric is rotation time. This is going to report the exact number of days it has taken this student to cycle through all of the skills currently in their mixed review. A high rotation time is indicating that students are not cycling enough through skills to make those become part of their long-term retention. But a low rotation time indicates that students are successfully cycling through skills and building their retention on those skills. So let's summarize all of these pieces together. By looking at the second student, they have a low rotation time, which is good. They have a high percentage of time spent in mixed review, which is good. And they have a high accuracy, which is good. But if we look at the active skills green or better, that is still low, which means even though they're cycling through those skills and they're spending that time in mixed review and they're getting them right, they are not answering enough skills to move through the color rating and improve from red and yellow to that proficiency level of green, silver, and gold. The piece that makes Get More Math unique is that mixed review. If students are spending time in mixed review earning points, their rotation time will decrease, their time spent in mixed review will increase, their accuracy will increase, and those skills will be able to move through those color levels and increase those active skills green or better. So our number one advice that we would give to most teachers is spend time in mixed review as much as you can. That is what is going to build your students' long-term retention. So let me summarize some actions that can be taken if metrics aren't what we want them to be. What can you do now? Of course, I have already stated it, but our number one advice is spend more time in mixed review. More prioritized practice in mixed review is going to lead to greater retention. Maybe students are spending a lot of time in mixed review, but there are just too many skills. We advise teachers to deactivate skills. Fewer skills to practice will lead to greater retention of the remaining skills. So let's talk about increased time in mixed review. We want that to happen so students receive effective practice that's going to produce color changes. How can we do that? Number one would be model assignments. Have your teachers model the problems for students and actually show them the answer. By doing this, that is going to free up time where students are asking questions about input methods and allow them to spend more time in the mixed review environment. Encourage your teachers to create smaller assignments and lower the assignment goal. 5 skills at 5 points per skill with a 25-point assignment goal is just too high. That means students have to get 25 questions correct on the first try in order to move to mixed review. By lowering those values, it'll give focused practice on that material today, but then allow the students more time in mixed review. Encourage your teachers to be sure to set a daily goal and switch students to mixed review every day. Those buttons are found on the teacher application. Another tip would be to encourage your teachers to have a targeted mixed review day. This will allow students to work in that mixed review environment all day and work on specific skills they need the most help with. Now, if teachers are giving students plenty of time in mixed review, maybe there's just too many skills there. Encourage teachers to go back and look at deactivating skills. This can be done by examining the skill data and making decisions based on how the students are doing on specific skills. It can be done by also taking a look for oversaturated skills or building block skills that are no longer necessary, and take advantage of using condensed skills that we provide in Get More Math. At the student level, encourage your teachers to conference and set goals together with their students. Most of the data can be found from the student screen, but by conferencing with the teacher, other pieces can be filled in, goals can be set, and action plans made. Self-monitoring is such a powerful tool. Teachers can also address individual students' issues when it comes to unfixed errors and penalties. Teachers can meet with students to address working on these skills to show improvement. A rule of thumb to use: 2 is too many. Too many penalties, too many skills outlined in red, and too many corners cut indicates that students are struggling and they need assistance. You can also encourage your teachers to create additional classes to address students' needs. If students are struggling or they're high achievers, it might be wise to move them to other classes where adaptations can be made. Students can belong to more than one class at a time. So if I scroll up to the next report, that is going to be my teacher's class health report. Here, all of these metrics are going to be reported by school, teacher, and class. These metrics are very similar to the ones below. The accuracy, active skills green or better, and time spent in mixed review are computed by taking the average of the scores from the students in that class. Rotation time is going to be the median value when looking at all of the students' individual rotation times. Points earned is going to be the sum of all the points that have been earned by the students in that class. We also report for you problems per student and the students that have been using Get More Math in the last 30 days. Now, if we take all of this data and we summarize it based on just a specific teacher, that'll lead us to our next report right above here, which is going to be our teacher health report. Again, this data is pulled from below. Problems and points earned will be a sum. Accuracy, active skills, time spent will be an average, and rotation time will be a median value. Then all of this data is pulled together to provide metrics for each school. These metrics are reported above in the table. And then we have built bar graphs to give a better visual of how each school is in comparison to the others. You can think of the composite average as kind of a grade for each school. This is based on all of the metrics below, and if you hover over any of the bars, you will see the percentage that has been pulled together as a composite score for that school. Each of the major metrics we report are now shown in a bar graph. We show school accuracy, school active skills green or better, school average time spent in mixed review, and the school median rotation time. You can hover over any of the pieces to see that percentage, and again following the same color scheme, green indicating good, yellow indicating not bad, needs work, and red indicating needs to be addressed. We report lots of information, and often it can be overwhelming. So if at any point in time you would like to meet with us to go over your data, where we can analyze it and offer you some suggestions to provide actions to your teachers, please feel free to reach out. We are happy to accommodate any kind of training that you would like to schedule to go over this data to help drive instruction, as well as discuss best practices.